Es un gusto verlos a vosotros otra vez. It's a pleasure to see all of you, okay? Again in the class. Okay, I think organizer just left, right? Anyway, not an issue. Okay. So how you're doing? If you know any friend of yours who had not yet joined, please make sure that you're joining, okay? Because today we're going to do something which is very, very important. And you'll be needing this like in a lot of times. This is something very basic, okay? I'm going to start. And since today's chapter is a little bit big, okay, I'm going to extend it till the next class, okay? I'll extend it because we are going to do it in 2 parts. So today I'm going to teach you numbers in Spanish, okay? Numbers. And how do we say numbers? It's called los números en español. Los números en español, okay? Did you know this before? What is the Spanish number? Do you know any Spanish numbers which you have heard before? Los números en español. I'm going to start with the Spanish numbers. Now, let me tell you one thing, okay? Before I start Spanish numbers, note one thing. That Spanish numbers is something like it's very easy. Like we all have learned it, okay? We have all learned it. But you have to, focus a lot. Because since I will teach you a little bit extra today, and this is a 6-month course, right? Chomasher course, so we will not be having time to do a second Spanish, communicative. It's not possible. So I want to do a little bit more in junior like itself. I don't want to keep it till next because then you will not get the chance to learn me. Okay, we don't know what's going to happen after 6 months. Maybe there's going to be another course. Maybe like we will be extending this. I don't know yet. Okay, but for this course, it's for 6 months, and I want that you have some idea, some good idea and information, so that you can learn more. Okay, so I've divided the class into 2 classes. So part 1 we'll do today, and since it's a little bit big, part 2 next class. Is that clear to you? Okay, so anybody who is still left, make sure you're joining and sit with your notebooks. Okay. Yes, uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Yes, we all know about uno, dos, tres. One thing like about Spanish numbers, we all know, okay, is when we listen to a song, there is something that we say it's numero uno, right? Do you know what is numero uno? What's the meaning of numero uno in Spanish? It's number 1, okay? Numero uno means number 1. Numero uno. So remember this, numero uno is number 1, okay? So I'm going to share the slides with you, and I want you all to take notes of this because it's not that, it's something very difficult, but, since it's numbers, little bit of logic is there, and Spanish numbers are very logical, okay? There are some beautiful rules in Spanish numbers, like after 10, the form in which we say Spanish numbers changes. After 20, it changes. But after 30, it kind of stabilizes from 30 to 100, okay? Again, after 100, it changes a little bit, okay? So I'm going to give you a brief overview of everything at the same time. And I want you to take time and learn this. I don't want you all to mug up everything in one day. No. Take time, understand, pace up and learn, okay? You have 6 days, okay? Like till the next class. I want you all to divide this into these 6 days, okay? In the first 2 days, learn say 60 to 70%. When the rest, give a little bit of pace to yourself and learn. Because, give your mind some rest. Where sometimes students get overwhelmed. Okay, so many things are there. How will I, manage everything? No, don't have to. Okay, it's okay. Take your time and do. I will be teaching you like the first part, the whole of it today. That you take your time and learn and send me the homework because yesterday I got some homework. I corrected some homeworks, okay, which was sent to me by students from your section and the other section. So I corrected that. And you know what? Some of them have done really well. Your friends who have submitted the homework, they have done really well. Why? Because they're following the slides and they are just, watching the videos, listening to me. That's why they have done it very well, okay? And those of you who have sent me homework, very good, okay? Keep on sending me. I will correct everything and I will send it to you with the feedback, okay? So ready for today's class? Spanish numbers, los números en español. Let me share the slides, okay? And again, if you're having any question, you can type it in the chat box. I'm going to respond to it, okay? Type it in the chat box. Just give me a second. Let me share the slides. Yeah, I think that the slides are visible, right? Okay, that's great. Okay. So first, what is numbers in Spanish? As I already said, it's los números en español. Okay. Now, focus on the pronunciation that I'm doing. Los números en español. Los números en español. Okay. Numbers in Spanish. All right. Now, first. So what usually happens is that most of us do not need to do any, difficult or complicated maths on a regular basis, but numbers is something which is very basic in our day-to-day life, right? Correct? We all use numbers all the time, whether you like them or not. We look at the clock a few times a day. We go shopping and look at the prices of things. So whenever you are like maybe out for shopping, or whenever you're like looking at your watch, every single time we need to use numbers to understand. Even if I ask you the time, for example, at what time the class of Spanish starts, ¿a qué hora empieza la clase de español? Okay, at what time the Spanish class starts, ¿a qué hora empieza la clase de español? I'm gonna focus on a number, right? It starts at 3, correct? It starts at 3 and the time is from 3 to 5, okay? Right? And I give you 15 to 20 minutes for discussion. So for every single thing, we are using numbers, right? So numbers is something which is very basic in our day-to-day conversations. It's not that number is only required for those who do maths and everything. No, it's not like that. Numbers is required for day-to-day and every single daily conversation, starting from looking at your time, telling the price of something, or asking how many quantities there in whatever. If you want to give orders to someone, maybe in the grocery store, we require numbers, right? And in Spanish, for example, when you go for shopping, right? For example, you're out in the streets of Madrid and you want to shop over there. So you have to use numbers no matter what, right? If you want to ask someone how many brothers and sisters you have to use numbers, okay? Somebody asks me how many, say, siblings you have, I will say I don't have any siblings, okay? So I'm going to use 0 over there, right? But for those who have, you have to know the numbers, right? So at least 1 to 10 is very, very basic. I want you all to memorize from 1 to 10 today in the class. Starting from 11 to the rest, take time and complete it till our next class, okay? Before we do our next section. Now, we all need to count things sometimes, as usual. I've already said over here, we can count our money, or how many cartons of milk we have, or how many steps there are from the entrance to your room, or maybe how many days there are until a special occasion, okay? So all these things I already said, we need numbers. So what are we going to learn in this class, okay? We're going to learn everything you need to know about using numbers in Spanish, including how to write, count, and pronounce numbers from 1 to 100 and higher. So the basic Spanish numbers go from 0 to 10, then from 11 to 100, then from 100 to 1000, and then above 1000, right? So the most basic is from 0 to 10. I want you all to focus right now on 0 to 10. Once you learn 0 to 10, using that and knowing how to like say the numbers from 10 onwards, it'll be very easy for you to pick up the rest. That will not be an issue, okay? But what I want to say is that sometimes numbers require accents. A few of them require accents, sometimes they don't have accents. And surprisingly, Spanish numbers also have gender and number, okay? So they change according to feminine, masculine, and numbers. So that is also very important, okay? So for that also, we need to, understand it. So I'm going to teach you every single thing in today's class, okay? So we're going to learn first the saying numbers, giving your phone number, saying prices and shopping, telling the time, saying dates, and basic math, okay? Basic mathematics like summation, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, okay? How to say those, okay? So let's see how it goes. Now, this is the number of 1 to 10 in Spanish. Look at this very, very carefully and take the notes because it's very important, okay? Write down. I know that I'm going to share the slides. You also know that. But when you write with your hands, it's a different impact. তাড়াতাড়ি মুখস্থ হয়ে যাবে হাতে লিখলে, ঠিক আছে? So হাতে লেখো জিনিসটা. First, look at the way I'm pronouncing it. First one is 1. How do we say 1? It's uno. All of you know. 1 is uno. 2, dos. 2 is dos. 3 is tres. 3 is tres. Okay. 4 is cuatro. 4 is cuatro. 5 is cinco. 5 is cinco. Okay. 6 is seis. 6 is seis. 7 is siete. 7 is siete. Okay. 8 is ocho. 8 is ocho. 9 is nueve. 9 is nueve. And 10 is 10. 10 is 10. Okay. You want me to repeat once again? Or is it clear to you? Is it clear? Do you want me to repeat it once again? Okay, I'm going to repeat once again. Okay. And then you repeat it to yourself in the place where you are, like learning the lesson. Okay. If you are at home, repeat it to yourself at home. Okay. Once I say, you repeat with me. I cannot hear you, but you do to yourself. Okay. Repeat with me because that will help you understand how to say the numbers. Okay. So let me repeat once again. Uno. Uno is 1. 2 is dos. Dos. 3 is tres. Tres. 4 is cuatro. Cuatro. If you know, maybe a couple of years back, there was a Samsung Galaxy series called Galaxy Quattro. Do you remember that? This was a long time back, I guess more than 7-8 years back when I got my first smartphone. At that time, I was also in high school, right? I was in high school, I was in class 11 when I got my first smartphone. At that time, there was a phone model of the Galaxy series called Samsung Galaxy Quattro. That was very famous, Galaxy series was something which is totally different because at that time, we have not started using that much of Android phones. We have been mostly using keypad phones or normal basic touchscreen. So, that cuatro basically comes from cuatro in Spanish. Cuatro means 4, okay? Cuatro means 4. So, cuatro, these are all similar. Cuatro in Spanish is 4, okay? This is just to give you a reference that we are using so many Spanish related words like daily life, but we don't even realize that, okay? Now, 5 is cinco. 5 is cinco. 6 is seis. 6 is seis. 7 is siete. 7 is siete. 8 is ocho. 8 is ocho. 9 is nueve. 9 is nueve. And 10 is 10. Okay? 10 is 10. All right? I think it's clear to you. Shall I go ahead? Okay. Let me go ahead. Okay. Now, numbers 0 to 9. Let's start with the basics. So normally, one of the first things to learn in Spanish is how to count from 0 to 10. So you might already know this, but we'll show you just here in case. They are, after all, some of the most important numbers in learning Spanish, as I already said. Here, see, I've given you the numbers from 0 to 10 and I've written how to write it in Spanish. So on the left, we have the numbers of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And on the right, I've written 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. Now what's written? Uno or un if it is in front of a noun because it becomes an article. For example, un perro. Yes. Now, when I'm going to teach you articles in Spanish, you will see that the article relevant, okay, the article which is equivalent to one is called un in Spanish, okay. For example, if I want to say one book, okay, I have a book, I'm going to say tengo un libro, un libro. So uno over there becomes un libro. Uno becomes un in front of masculine third person. Okay, uno becomes un in front of masculine singular, but that's we are going to learn when we're going to do use articles. Okay, not now. Right now, just know the numbers. Okay, uno or un if it's in front of a noun because it becomes an article. For example, un perro. Un perro means one dog, a dog, right? Un perro. Un libro means a book. Okay, una copa is a cup. Okay, un bolígrafo is a pen. Okay, it goes like that. So that is how it goes. Look into it and practice it to yourself, okay? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay? Clear? Okay? Let me move on. Now, if you have any questions, type it in the chat box. Okay, if you want me to repeat something, I will do it. So till now, we have done numbers of 0 to 10, okay, which you will revise at home, okay? Practice program. Now it's time to start some more numbers from 10 to 99. How does it go in Spanish? Just so you know, once we reach number 16, the numbers start following a clear pattern, even though it might seem confusing at first, right? This is why we will begin by explaining the hardest one, and then we promise the next numbers will be incredibly easy to understand, okay? So after 16, the number starts to follow a clear pattern, which you will understand as we go ahead, okay? Now, DSE says is nothing more than DSE says 10 and 6. So what is 10 in Spanish? DS. 6 in Spanish is says. So 16, which is 10 plus 6, will become DSE 6. Okay? DSE 6. You might notice it's not written exactly the same way, but that happens for a reason. Now let's analyze these changes step by step. Why don't we write DSE says? Why do we write DSE says together? Can anybody tell me over here? Amra cano একসাথে DSE says. Okay, E means and in Spanish. Why? Okay, E means and in Spanish. Just a second. E means and. So Amra you have to write DSE says. Why do we write DSE says? Why do we write like that? Can you tell me? Anyone? Any idea? Why is it together and not separate? Why do we write like that? Any idea? You don't? I know it's a bit tricky, but okay. If you know, then write it down. Why do we do that? I cannot see you. You have to write down the reason. Okay, not an issue. I will tell you why we write like this. There is a reason for that. See, the Z becomes C, first change. Okay, the first change is the Z we had in the word DS that turns into a C in DSE 6, as well as in the words for the following numbers like DSE 7, DSE 8. So don't let this confuse you, okay? You're better than that. In Spanish, the letter C in front of the vowels E and I has the same exact sound as Z, which is like the TH sound in thanks, okay? While every other time it should have a K sound, okay? See, the Z turns into a C in DSE 6 as well as into the following numbers like 17 and 18, which are DSE 7 and DSE 8. DSE 7 is 17 and DSE 8 is 18, okay? So this is basically the rule, okay? The letter C in front of the vowels E and I has the same exact sound as Z, okay? I told this to you the other day when I was teaching alphabets, right? When the soft vowels like E and I come before C, it becomes Sir. If it is, coming before A, O, U, it will become K, right? I gave you examples, correct? It's the same rule over here. Moreover, for other reasons, we don't use the letter Z in front of those two vowels. In this case, what's the letter that's after C? That's right, and I, which means it has the same exact sound as in yes, okay? It happens like that. We don't use the letter Z in front of these two vowels. If I have a conjugation like where I or E is coming after Z, it will become C. That is a basic rule of Spanish, okay? For example, DSE says becomes DSE says, okay? Is this clear to you? Do you want me to repeat something over here? Any question from this part? Take a look at it, read it, and tell me, because then I'm going to explain it once again to you. Okay, whatever part we're covering, I want you all to memorize this in a proper way from the start. Do not wait for the end of the class. Okay, right now whatever I'm teaching, clear it, clarify that right now. Do not wait till the end of the class. It's not required. Okay. Okay. All right. So basically what I said is, okay, for those who didn't understand, DSE says come together in a short form and become DSE says. and the Z of DS becomes C when we bring these together, following the rules of grammar. That's it. That's what I said. I did not say anything else. Okay. Just remember this as of now. Okay. If you're not understanding exactly the logic, it's okay. Just memorize it. Later you will understand it. Don't worry. Okay. Let's proceed for the next one. Okay. Now, why does the Y in DSE says become I in DSE says? Why does that happen? The second change is another letter changing, and it's very similar to the previous one. Okay. In Spanish, the word for and is E. So if we wanted to put these together, it would look like this. DSE says, right? You understanding? DSE says. If we go by the logic, okay, gross logic that there is no change happening and everything is happening in the same way. Now, the combination of the letters C plus Y is extremely uncommon in Spanish, and in fact, it only exists in a few foreign words such as cyan. What is cyan? Cyan is a color, okay? It's a bluish color, cyan, right? So when the names of the colors or anything is like taken from outside, we use this, very rare combinations. Apart from that, every single thing changes to become more Spanish, to be more, easy to say. Okay, it's basically for ease of saying as well, right? C plus Y conjugation does not come unless it's a foreign word, okay? It's very uncommon. So after C, the Y will become I because that is more common. Is that clear to you? I hope this part is clear. Why the Y becomes I? Because C and Y, one after another, is a very uncommon, rare combination, okay? That's the reason the Y becomes I. Clear? Raise your hands. How many of you think this is clear to you? I want you to raise your hands. This part, it's very, very important, guys, okay? Because I know it's a little bit tricky, but I know you can do it. It's very easy as well, okay? What about the others? I can see a few hands raised. What about the others? You didn't understand? I want all of you to raise your hands right now. In the next 5 seconds, okay? All of you to raise your hands. You're understanding, right? All of you. Those who are sleeping, wake up and raise your hands. Okay? Yes, good. Okay? For those who are understanding, very good. For those who are responding, very good. Okay? Let me move ahead. So, now the third change, okay? The E in says has an accent, but the normal E in says does not have an accent. In DSE says, the E has an accent. When we talk about normal says, the E does not have an accent. Why? And finally, the last change is one that we will only see in a couple of more numbers. The reason for this change is based on the rules of Spanish accents. Okay? We don't get too much into it right now, but basically, one of these rules is that words that end in vowel plus S, like this one, that are stressed on the last syllable, always have an accent. Okay, that is how it goes. Says is a short word, it only has one syllable, so it does not require one. However, DSE says is a longer word, so it does need one. So don't worry too much about it, okay? As of now, we will explain it later. It's basically to avoid the pronunciation of the words, any mistake in that, because DSE says is a bigger word. In which E do I, put the accent? Is it in DIE or SE? Which E do we put the accent in? So you have to understand that. So it becomes DSE says because it should not be DSE says. No, it's DSE says, right? That's the reason E has an accent on top. Is this clear? Why E has an accent? Okay, I'm moving ahead next. Okay, I hope this is clear to all of you. The shorter number of words, okay, the shorter, for example, says, which means 6 is very short. That's the reason it does not require an accent for pronunciation. But for those who are actually into pronouncing, this, E will have an accent because it forms part of the word called DSE says. And DSE says is a big word, right? That's the reason it's having an accent. Is this clear? Raise your hands, everyone, if it's clear. Raise your hands, guys, if you think it's clear. Okay, I hope this is clear to you, right? Okay, so let me move ahead next. Okay, now these are all the exceptions that I'm trying to teach you. Okay, Now there are a lot of like normal rules which you're going to learn slowly, but these are all the exceptions. So learn the exceptions first. We said this change happens in two more numbers. These are 23, that is 23, and 26, okay, that is 26. It is for the exact and the same reason. Now that we have seen the hardest one, let's look at the rest of the numbers higher than 16. Do you notice that it's always 10 or 20 or 30 followed by y and another number? So I'm going to teach this to you how it changes, okay? This is the pattern we were talking about with tens and 20s, okay? These words are written together like we saw previously and might show few changes. But once we reach the 30s, they start being written separately, so it becomes a lot clearer. Is this part clear to you? See, do you notice that it's always 10 or 20 or 30 followed by y and another number? This applies to all the numbers above 30, okay? Like from 30 and onwards, okay? With tens and 20s, these words are written together like we saw previously and might show few changes as well. But once you reach the 30s, they start being written separately, so it becomes a lot clearer, right? I hope this is clear to you, correct? Okay. I've given the numbers from 10 to 21 over here. 10 to 21. How does it go? See, 10 is DS, okay? 10 is DS. What is 11? 11 is onset. 12, 12. 13 is 13. 14 is 14. 15 is 15. So, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. Is it clear? Why are you so serious, all of you? I think the class is very serious today. What's the reason why are you so serious? Nobody is responding, first of all. Nobody is asking any questions. Nobody is raising hands. I think people got very serious looking at Spanish numbers. Is that so? So how many of you are feeling very serious about this? Raise your hands. About the topic of today, Spanish numbers. Oh my God, so many things. How many of you are feeling very serious right now? So many things to remember, ma'am. I will kill you if I see you, it's so difficult. Raise your hands, all of you. Be honest with yourself. You know what? When I was learning Spanish numbers, yes, I also thought so many things to learn, right? But this was 7 to 8 years back. But then I put the extra effort because, my goal was not just to learn the numbers in Spanish. It was also to travel to Spain and Latin America and make friends in those places so that I can talk to them and travel the world. Okay, that was the reason I learned Spanish. So this much of pain, which I'm taking, like which I took at that time to learn, did not matter to me. It did not matter to me. You know what? Because I knew my goal is bigger. It's not just to know the numbers. I'm learning this because I have to travel the world. I wanted to know how many Spanish numbers are there, how we say it, because I also wanted to know how many countries there are in the world. I have to travel all of them. There are near about 196, 197 countries in the world, okay? The number is a bit fluctuating because some consider the additions as countries, some don't. There are few countries which are registered, few countries which are not registered with the European Union, with the United Nations. So the number keeps on changing, but it's between 195 to 197 countries in the whole world. And right now, I have not even traveled 10 to 20 of them, not even yet. That's my dream, to travel the whole world. And I know the number of Spanish-speaking countries which are there in the world right now, for example, in South America and in Spain, they're way too high. They're very big, okay? If I only make it a point that in the next 3 to 4 years, I'm going to travel to all the, Spanish-speaking countries of the world, only the Spanish-speaking countries of the world, that itself will make it minimum like 23 to 24 countries out of all the 195. Only Spanish-speaking countries. 23 countries out of all the countries in the world who speak Spanish. Don't you think it's special? So yes, it's okay. If you think it's difficult, take your time. But you want to travel the world, this is just a part of it. इतना सा तो पेन ले सकते हो ना थोड़ा सा मेमोराइज करने का. नया लैंग्वेज है. You want to learn a new language and you don't want to give effort. Okay, so it's okay. Slowly do it. So 10 is DS, 11 is onset, 12 is dose, 13 is trece, 14 is catorce, 15 is quince, and now starting from 16 to 21, 16 is DSE6, basically 17 is DSE7, that's DSE7, it's very easy. 7 is 7, DS is 10, so 17 becomes DSE7. 18 is DSE8, 18 is DSE8 again, DSE8, 10 and 8, that is 18, right? 19 is DSE9, 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 10 and 9. It's very easy, right? It's just together, that's it. 20 is 20. Now this is different. 20 is 20. This is a little bit different. And again, 21 is 21. That is 21. Isn't it easy? So logical. 20 and 1 is 21. 21 is 21. Understanding? Isn't it clear? Raise your hands. Are you understanding the logic of the numbers? Why are we saying like this? If you understand the why, it's very easy. Just remember why we are saying like this. DS is 10, okay? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, okay? 11 to 15. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now, 16, 10 and 6, 10 plus 6 is 16, right? So we say DSE says, club it together, it becomes DSE says. Same rule for DSE7, DSE7, club it together becomes DSE7. DSE8, DSE8, club it together becomes DSE8. DSE9, DSE9, club it together becomes DSE9. 20 is 20 and again 21, 21 together. Clear, right? Clear? Yeah? Yes, it's clear, right? I know that. Okay. So now what I want you all to do, we have done from 0 to 21. Okay. Ajke rater moddhe till tonight. Okay. I want you all to memorize 0 to 21 because it's very logical, very easy. There could not be anything easier than this. What I'm going to teach you after 21, I am giving you a time of 2 to 3 days. Today is Sunday. Take time till Tuesday. Take time till Tuesday and memorize that. It's okay. আজকের জন্য memorize only 0 to 21. Understand কেন আমরা এভাবে বলছি. Why we are saying like that. Once this is done, go to 21 and above. বাকিটা করে নেবে. Memorize করবে. আজকে পড়ে নিও পুরোটা, বাট মেমোরাইজেশনটা কালকে পরশু করো. ঠিক আছে? আজকে 0 থেকে 21 অবধি করতেই হবে. ভেরি ভেরি ইম্পর্টেন্ট. ওকে? বিকজ একদম বেসিক, একদম লজিক্যাল এন্ড কিভাবে করবে? লেফট সাইডে 0 1 2 3 4 থেকে 21 অবধি লিখবে, রাইট সাইডে না দেখে লিখবে, আর কিছু করতে হবে না. 2-3 বার এভাবে লেখো না দেখে, আরামসে প্র্যাকটিস হয়ে যাবে, কিচ্ছু করতে হবে না. এন্ড দেন গো টু স্লিপ. ওকে? বিকজ আফটার লার্নিং ইটস ইম্পর্টেন্ট টু টেক রেস্ট এন্ড দেন অ্যাগেইন স্টার্ট লার্নিং. পরীক্ষার আগে আমরা এভাবেই করতাম, আই এম শিওর তোমরাও সেটাই করো. We learn, we take a bit of gap. Constant করতে হবে, it's not like that. Constant পড়েই যাচ্ছ, do not, stress, burn yourself out. Take time. That's why I said, আজকের লেসনটা আস্তে আস্তে ভাগ ভাগ করে পড়বে, পুরো একসাথে. You don't have to learn everything at once. No, it's not required. দরকার নেই, ঠিক আছে? So let's move on to the next one. Okay? I hope this is clear, right? আমি কিন্তু আগেরটাই আছি. I'm going to the next slide. Okay? Yeah. So this 22 to and all, এটা আমি পড়িয়ে দেবো, বাট তোমরা এটা মুখস্থ কালকে করবে, আজকে করবে না. আজকে 0 থেকে 21 অবধি করবে, ঠিক আছে? So 22, again it's the same. Okay, 20 is 20, 2 is 2, right? 22 is 22. 22 becomes 22. Isn't it easy? 22 becomes 22. 22 becomes 22. It's easy, right? Just a second. Yeah. So 22 becomes 22. Again, 23 becomes 23. That's 23. 23, right? 20 is 20, 3 is 3. So 23 becomes 23, right? And 24. 20 is again 20, 4 is 4. 24 becomes 24, right? Same logic as 21. 21 was 21, 21, 22 is 22, 22, 23 is 23, 23, 24 is 24, that's 24, 25, that is 5, 5 is 5, right? Becomes 25, club it together. And 26, that's 26 becomes 26. 26. 6 is 6, 20 is 20. 26 becomes 26. Clear? Attention মনে রাখবে 22, 23 আর 26 এর উপর accent থাকবে. There is accent mark on top of 22, 23 and 26. Clear? But that's it. For 27, you know how to write. It's 27. 28 is 28. 29 is 29. And now we come to 30. That is 30. 30 is 30. So মনে কি রাখতে হচ্ছে? মনে কিন্তু কিছুই রাখতে হচ্ছে না। তোমাকে মনে রাখতে হবে 1 to 9, 10, then 11 থেকে 15 অবধি, then 20, then 30, then 40. এভাবে মনে রাখতে হবে। সবকটা মুখস্থ করা দরকার নেই, because it follows a pattern, okay? So 30 is 30. But after 30, the pattern changes. আমরা ওটাকে ক্লাব করি না তারপরে। We don't say 31, it's 31. যেমন দেখো, যখন 21 বলছিলাম 21, it was 21. ওটাকে আমরা একসাথে করে দিয়ে 21 বলছি। এইটা হচ্ছে till 26, 27, 20, 29. 30 এর উপরে যাওয়ার পরে it becomes separate, আলাদা হয়ে যায়. It becomes easier, okay? So 31 will be 31. 30 is 30, 1 is 1. So 31 is 31. Basically 30 and 1, okay? 32 is 30 and 2, that is 32. 33 is 33, that is 33. 40 is again 40. Just এইগুলোই মনে রাখতে হবে, বাকিটা তো সেম, you know. 33 যদি 33 হয়, তোমরা চ্যাট বক্সে লেখো what is 35. What is 35? Follow the same logic. Write down in the chat box. I want to see how much you understand me. What is 35? Write down 35. Anybody wants to try 35? 31 is 31. 32 is 32. 33 is 33. So what is 35? What is 35? Yes. 35. Very good, Rick. Okay. Amazing. Okay. 35. Yes. Good. Devjit, good. Okay. What is 37? 37 ki hoga? 37 ki hoga? What is gonna be 37? What is 37? Yes, very good. Okay, 30 is here. It is 30 is here. Okay. বুঝতে পারছো তো 38 কি হবে? 38. Good. 37 is 30 is here. 38 কি হবে? What is 38? 38. Good. Rick and Orko, good. Okay. Shorangshu, good. Very good. 38. Okay. Now, is the same. Again, 39 is 39. It goes like that. Okay. So you're understanding what I'm saying. Now, 40 is again 40. 40 is 40. Same. 41 is 41. 42 is 42. 43 is 43. 44 is 44. Now, what is 45? 45 right now. What is 45? What is going to be 45 if 40 is 40? What is 45? I want all of you to write down. Not only 1 or 2 of you who are active in the class. I want all of you to write down. Okay, so I got some answers. 45. Yes, it's 45. Okay, 45. 48. What is 48? 48. What is 48? Yes, 48. Very good. Understanding this? 48. Same logic till 100. Okay, I'm telling this to you. So, you know, it's so easy. Just a few things to remember, the rest falls in the place. It's simple logic. 49 is again 49. Okay, all of you. You're right. 48. Now, 50 is 50. 50 is 50. 60 is 60, 70 is 70, 80 is 80, and 90 is 90. I mean, same abar kore 51, 52, 53, I will not explain because same rule follow kore. 51 will be 51, 52 will be 50 yours. Okay, this is how it will go. 59 will be 59, 60 is 60. 61 will be 61, 62 will be 62, 63 will be 63. এগুলো আমি এক্সট্রা লিখিনি, ইটস দ্য সেম থিং। তোমরা পারবে এটা করতে, পারবে তো করতে নাকি? আবার লিখতে হবে এক্সট্রা করে সেম জিনিস বারবার করে? ইটস নট রিকোয়ার্ড, রাইট? ইটস দ্য সেম রুট, ইউ নো হাউ টু ডু ইট। অনলি 60, 70, 80, 90 কিভাবে বলে এবার এটাকে মুখস্থ করতে হবে। বাকি মিডলে কি আসে ইউ অল নো হাউ টু রাইট, রাইট? So 60, 60, 70, 70, 80 is 80. Clear? 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100 is CN. Okay, so let's repeat once again. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Okay, how does it go? Then anybody write? Okay, I'm giving you 1 minute. 1 minute. The time is 4:05, right? 4:05, 3:55. 1 minute দিচ্ছি। পুরোটা একসাথে লিখে আমাকে চ্যাট বক্সে পাঠাও, এক এক করে পাঠাবে না, পুরোটা লিখে পাঠাও। কে কত তাড়াতাড়ি করতে পারে? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 এই নটা এক্ষুনি আমাকে লিখে চ্যাট বক্সে একসাথে পাঠাও, আলাদা আলাদা করে লিখবে না কিন্তু। ওকে, your time starts now, right now. Okay, 1 minute. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. All of this together without looking. You cannot cheat. Write it by yourself. Okay, I'm giving you 1 minute. So type in the chat box and jara সবথেকে তাড়াতাড়ি পারবে, I'm going to say the names. Write all of that, 10, 20, 30, 40 till 90. What is that? Yeah, it's done. Okay, so let me see if I've got any correct answers. Okay, I've got responses from Ojoy, Proloy, and Rig. Okay, 3 of you have. Okay, yes.
that was trying marketing and like different
Okay.
they asked me how much percentage of money did you use in building the startup, in marketing, and after how like they give me funding with 5 times for my college project.
Yes, Ajoy, you're right. Correct. Proloy. Yeah, right. Okay. Rick Tretenta is Treinta, not Stretenta. Okay, it's Treinta. 40 is different, 30 is different. 80, yes, right. Okay. Yeah. Devjit, you're right. Yes, Devjit, very good. Yes. Orko, you're. Yes, good. Good. Okay, yeah. Great. Okay. Yes, good, good. Tretenta, it's not Tretenta. Do not copy paste, na Abhinav. Write it yourself. Do not copy paste. নিজেকে লিখতে হবে, কপি পেস্ট করতে বলিনি আমি। It's Treinta, not Tretenta. Yes. Okay, very good. Preetha and all, very good. Suparna, very good. Okay. Yes, you're right. Again, Tretenta. Copy paste. No, don't copy paste. Okay, you're cheating. Do not cheat. Tretenta likhche, I understand you're copying from someone else. Don't do it. It's Treinta. Okay, not Tretenta. 30 is Treinta, right? But 40 is 40. Okay. Good, right? Very good. Okay, amazing. Okay, clap for you. Very good. So you're understanding how it goes, right? So let me go to the next slide. Okay, now over here, I want you all to be very careful. Notice that 100 is cien, but in every other number that follows, it changes to ciento, and it's followed by the next number. For example, 101 is ciento uno, and 187 would be ciento ochenta y siete. Ciento ochenta y siete. So this is something time niye sheko temon hoy ki ajke mukhosto korte hobe. 100 is cien, right? But in every other number that follows, it changes to ciento and is followed by the next number. So if I want to say 101, it's going to be ciento uno. 187 is here 187 করবে। So see, first of all, প্রথমে কিন্তু 187 করবে না। প্রথমে দেখো what is 87? 80 হচ্ছে 80, 7 is 7. So 87 is 87. So what is 187? Ciento ochenta y siete. এভাবে করবে, ঠিক আছে? Ciento ochenta y siete. ব্রেক ডাউন করে নাও। একটা ধরো আছে তোমার কাছে 150। 150 কিভাবে বলবে? প্রথমে what is 50? Then 150. So 50 is 50. 150 is 150. Okay? You have a code. So 187 is 187 because 87 is 87, right? So unlike in English, hundreds are written in one word. For example, 200 is 200. So again, English আমরা 200, 300 আলাদা আলাদা করে বলি, right? We say in different ways, but in Spanish these are all clubbed together. Spaniards একটা কথা আমি বলছিলাম না, simple জিনিস খুব পছন্দ করে। Spaniards love things which are simple. They do not complicate things. Spaniards like simplifying things. Or a simple জিনিস খুব পছন্দ করে। So 200, 300, they don't say like dos cientos, tres cientos. No, it's 200, 300 একসাথে। কোনো গ্যাপ নেই কিন্তু এগুলোর মধ্যে। Why 200? Because ciento means 100. প্রথমে এটা স্টার্ট করার আগে আমি একটা জিনিস বলেছিলাম, numbers have gender and plural and singular, right? So numbers change in singular and plural. So যদি ciento মানে 100 হয়, right? তখন 200 হয়ে যাচ্ছে, 200 হয়ে যাচ্ছে, right? So obviously ciento টা cientos হয়ে যাবে, plural হয়ে যাবে, right? And 200 বলে it's going to be dos cientos. We are going to add dos before cientos. 300 only it's going to be 300, right? 400 is going to be 400. Okay, it's going to go like that. It's very easy. Why? Because number ta change hocche bole I'm using the plural form. Now, however, what follows it does work like in English. A space and then the number in the same way it could normally be written. For example, 842 would be 842 in Spanish. So এটা নিজেরা বুঝবে। It's not কি এখন মুখস্থ করতে হবে, but জিনিসটা তোমাদের জানার জন্য জাস্ট আমি বলে দিচ্ছি। 842 is 800, like 200, 800, 800. 200 মানে 200, 300 মানে 300. 800 is going to be 800, normal, right? And 42. So 842 আমি কিভাবে করলাম? First আমি ডিভাইড করলাম ওটাকে between 800 and 42. 42 is 42. 800 is 800 842 now is 842 ভাগ ভাগ করে জিনিসটা করলাম একসাথে কিন্তু করলাম না এভাবে it's going to be easy to understand okay so do it when you practice all the beginning stages যখন 0 থেকে 100 মুখস্থ হয়ে যাবে তখন এগুলো করবে এখনই করা দরকার নেই okay take time to understand this again plural changes Spanish already আমি আগে বললাম in English the word 100 doesn't change whether it's 100 200 or 400 just change it a little bit in Spanish. For example, if it is say 156, we are going to say 156. But if it is 470, we'll say 470. Okay? 470. Why? Because it is 400. 400 is plural, right? 100 is singular, but 400 is 400. So plural form to ekhane hobe because Spanish e prottekta jinish mone rakbe there is singular plural, there is masculine and feminine. Eigulo chhara Spanish language cholei na, okay? So when I'm going to say 470, it's going to be 470. Esta kintu add hobe cientor pore 470. But when it was 156, it was 156, not cientos. Why? Because it's 100. A part clear holo to? This part is clear, right? Why it's 400 and why it's ciento? Because of change in singular and plural. That's it. Now, instead of ciento, there is more than 100. We add the letter S at the end to make it plural. So it's going to be cientos, right? Clear? এটা একবার দেখে নাও চট করে because I think একবার চট করে I'm giving you 30 seconds short করে একবার এটা পড়ে নাও বুঝো জিনিসটা কেন হচ্ছে প্রশ্ন থাকলে write it down ask me in the end of this class
बताओ ना परसिस्टेंट पूरा साल में कितना काम होता है I was talking about all the part program or employee visa service आपका साल का आप अभी से एंड तक अगर आप एवरेज पकड़ोगे 20 लाख 25 लाख पकड़ोगे 0.0
Okay, let me go ahead. বুঝতে পারছো তো নাকি মাথা ঘুরছে এইটুকু পড়ে you're having headache after learning headache হচ্ছে না তো not having headache right যদি headache হয় একটুখানি চোখ বন্ধ করে রেস্ট নিয়ে নেবে ঠিক হয়ে যাবে I remember my numbers করতে গিয়ে I remember the days of my exams exam সময় how much I used to study focus একদম পুরা focus সবকিছু shut off only black copy pen paper notes and a quiet room যেখানে nobody was allowed to enter till the time my exams are over okay that is a focus with which we should do something এতটাই focus হতে হবে when you learn something কি আশপাশে কিছু you're not being able to see anything that time ঠিক আছে আমি সত্যি কিছু শিখেছি পুরো ফুল ডিস্ট্রাকশন নিয়ে আরাম করে পড়াশোনা করব you can never learn a language like that সার্টিফিকেট পেয়ে যাবে চিন্তা নেই বাট শিখতে পারবে না ভুলে যাবে তারপরে and getting a certificate when you cannot speak doesn't make any sense okay so ঠান্ডা মাথায় ঠিক করে পড়বে next some irregulars so we are almost done with the numbers okay now I want to show you quite the irregular points আছে এখানে there are some irregular points okay what are those Some irregularities are always there. Sometimes the number in front of cientos will be the exact same word we learned in the beginning, such as cuatrocientos or ochocientos, but there are some irregularities as well. So why cuatrocientos? Because cuatro mane 4 and cientos means 100. Ochocientos why? Ocho mane 8 and cientos means 100. So ocho and cientos becomes ochocientos. Cuatro and cientos becomes cuatrocientos. Now, what are the exceptions? For 900, 700 and 500. लिखे रखो. For 900, 700 and 500. We have an exception over here. What are those? Setecientos means 700. It's not sietecientos. No. অসুবিধা কিছু নেই, but setecientos is to like sietecientos. বিশাল বড় একটা word হয়ে যাচ্ছে. So we short, we cut it short and make it setecientos in Spanish. We don't say sietecientos. তুমি খুব তাড়াতাড়ি যখন setecientos বলবে ওটা setecientos হয়ে যাবে। বিকজ একটা জিনিস মনে রাখবে, স্প্যানিশ কিন্তু খুব তাড়াতাড়ি বলে। স্প্যানিশ ভাষা খুব তাড়াতাড়ি বলে, কেউ আস্তে আস্তে বলে না। So when we say something in Spanish, for example, you know, খুব তাড়াতাড়ি নিজের মনে এটা বলো, 700, 700, 700, যত তাড়াতাড়ি সম্ভব বলো। You will see in the end it will become 700. খুব তাড়াতাড়ি বলতে গেলে। So আস্তে আস্তে ওই 700 ছোট হয়ে 700 হয়ে গেছে তাড়াতাড়ি বলতে গিয়ে, বিকজ অত মানে খুঁটিনাটি জিনিস তাড়াতাড়ি বলার সময় মনে থাকে না। We don't understand when we speak. খুব তাড়াতাড়ি কথা বললে এক্সাক্ট স্মল যে চেঞ্জেস গুলো হয় না ওয়ার্ডে, সেগুলো মানে বোঝা যায় না। That's the reason cientos was reduced to setecientos. Okay, that's one of the major reasons. There can be another reason, but this is one of the major reasons as far as I believe. Okay, now novecientos, we don't say again nuevecientos. It's again আস্তে আস্তে যখন বলছি it's okay, তাড়াতাড়ি বললে novecientos, it's easier to say, that's why it's become novecientos. Now the most different one is quinientos. For 500 we don't say cincocientos, it's quinientos. The most unique one, it's not cincocientos, it is quinientos. Okay, which sounds completely different than cinco and doesn't even end with cientos. It's a special one. I'm so sorry about that, but yes, you have to memorize this. You have to memorize that 500, 700 and 900 have different spellings. 700 and 900 is easy, setecientos and novecientos. 500 is quinientos, not cincocientos. It is quinientos. Quinientos, okay? Mone thakbe to quinientos. Okay, you have to memorize that. Again, numbers also have genders. The words for hundreds can be either masculine or feminine depending on the noun modifying. So if I want to say 300 t-shirt, jodi bolte chai ami, because that's a feminine word in Spanish, we would say 300 camisetas. Okay, why? Because camiseta, which means t-shirt in Spanish, camiseta mane hocche t-shirt. Okay, camiseta means t-shirt. It's feminine. That's why we say 300 camisetas. It's not 300 camisetas. 300 camisetas. 300 camisetas. Clear? 300 camisetas. We don't say 300 camisetas. It does not make any sense. 300 camisetas. But if I want to say 300 dishes, 300 plate, right? বিয়ে বাড়িতে গেলে 300 খানা প্লেট, right? We see, you know, they have to clean everything. So 300 plates if I want to say. Plate is plato in Spanish. Plate is plato. So it's going to become 300 platos, not 300 platos. Why? Because plato is masculine. 300 platos. Got it? 300 platos. Clear? হাত তোলো, clear নাকি আমি বুঝতে পারছি না। Raise your hand. 300 platos, not 300 platos. Why? You know that. Good, okay? I see some of your hands. Bakira hoyto, I don't know, not raising your hands. তোমরা নিজেরা করে নাও, আমাকে জিজ্ঞেস করো না, নিজেরাই করো, আমাকে জিজ্ঞেস করার দরকার নেই। ওকে, যারা হাত তুলছো না তাদেরকে আমি এটা বলছি। ওকে, because I need to know if you're understanding or not. 300 platos, 300 camisetas. Okay, that is how it's going to go. And if you're just counting, just because the number is related to any noun, you don't need to worry about its gender. যখন ধরো just normal counting করছো, তখন masculine হবে, but যখন একটা noun আসছে ওটার পরে, there will be a gender change. Okay, there will be a gender change. How? I give you the example. So can you tell me? So for example, আমি একটা বলছি, in Spanish, casa means house. Casa means house. Coche means car. Okay. I want you all to write down 400 houses and 900 cars in the chat box. 400 houses and 900 cars in the chat box. Write down. 30 seconds. Not more than that. তাড়াতাড়ি লেখো, খুব ইজি এটা, আমি অলরেডি বলে দিয়েছি কি কোনটার মানে কি। কোচে মিন্স কার and casa means house. Kochi is masculine, casa is feminine. Write down 500 houses and 900 cars. কি হবে স্প্যানিশ? Write down. Let me see কে তাড়াতাড়ি করে করতে। তাড়াতাড়ি করো, কিন্তু ঠিক করে করো, হুট করে তাড়াতাড়ি করে দিও না, বুঝে করো। যদি 300 camisetas হয় and 300 platos হয়, তাহলে what is going to be 500 houses and 900 cars. When houses is feminine, that is casa, and coche is masculine, that is car. বুঝেছি প্রশ্নটা আমি কি বলছি? No, not like that also. Write properly, no? The way I've written 300 camisetas and 300 platos. 500 houses and 900 cars. What will it be? When I say 500 is special in Spanish, it's not the same. 500. Did I write it down? Wait. I think copy paste to it. Host and panelist. কেউ পারছে না, তার মানে okay, so what is 500 houses? What is 500 houses? Is it 500 casa? No, Shorangshu, it's wrong. Shorangshu, Rik, it's wrong. Why? Casa is feminine. So will it be 500 or 500? Wrong. It's 500 casas. Correct yourself. 500 casas. Right? You're understanding what I'm saying? 500 casas. And what is 900 cars? 900 cars. What is gonna be? ঠিক করে জেন্ডার মাথায় রেখে লেখো। মোটামুটি তাড়াতাড়ি লিখে দিলাম না, জেন্ডার মাথায় রেখে ঠিকটা লিখতে হবে, ভুল লিখলে হবে না। ওকে, 900 cars কি হবে? 900 coches. Simple. 900 coches, right? 500 casas and 900 coches. See. Easy. Yeah, very easy. Okay, understand this and take time. Okay, now so let's revise. Repasamos. What is repasamos? Means let's revise. Okay, so 100 is 100, 101 is 101, 102 is 102, 103 is 103, 110 is 110, 111 is 111, same. 135 is 135, 200 and 201, 200, 201. How is it going? Same rule is being followed. 100 is 100, 101 is 101, 102 is 102, 102, because 2 is 2, 100 is 100. 103 is 103, because 3 is 3, right? 110 is 110, 110. 11 is 11, so 111 is 111. 135 is 135, because 35 is 35. So 135 is 135. 200 is 200. 201 is 201. Clear? Clear? Any question from this? Yes. So basically, so I will teach you plurals later, but এইটুকু মনে রাখবে, যখন একটা vowel এ কিছু end হয়, plural করতে গেলে শুধু s দিতে হয়। যখন নন vowel এ কিছু end হয়, plural করতে গেলে es দিতে হয়। ঠিক আছে, এইটুকু মনে রাখবো শোনাংশ, বাকিটা পরে যখন plural শিখবো তখন আমরা করব। We don't need it right now. So for example, casa means house. Casa vowel end হচ্ছে, a তে end হচ্ছে, right? So casa plural করতে গেলে আমি শুধু বলবো casas, right? শুধু s add করছি. But coche is ending in e again. কোচের জন্য I'm also using s because it's ending in a vowel. And এইটুকু মনে রাখবে যখন কিছু for example plural হয়, it mostly ends in a vowel only. There are very rare exceptions. যখন আমি plural করব তখন শেখাবো. There are some changes where there are words ending in non-vowel, that is in consonants. সেটা কিভাবে করতে হবে যখন শেখাবো তখন বলবো, এখন দরকার নেই, ঠিক আছে? এখন এইটুকু মনে রাখো. Mostly we have to add s and es when we are making it plural in Spanish. Okay, এই পেজটা বোঝা গেছে? 100 to 201, 100, 101, 102, 103, 110, 111, 135, 200 and 201. Good. Let me go to the next. We are almost done. Revision করলে আমরা দেখছি কতটা আছে. Same here. I've given you 202 কি হবে, 202, 300 is 300, 400 is 400, 400, 4 is 400, 600. So 400 is 400. Again 500 is 500, শেখালাম এটা. 600 is 600, 700 is 700, exception. 800 is 800, 900 is 900, exception, and 1000 is mil. Now 1000 is mil, not un mil. 1000 is mil, simple. Okay, 1000 number in English but Spanish we don't say un mil. It's never ever applied like that. Okay, it is mil means 1000. Okay, so that's it for today. Take a deep breath. We are done. যেভাবে বললাম সেভাবেই পড়বে, গ্যাপ দিয়ে দিয়ে। And second part we will do the rest, ordinal numbers, time কিভাবে বলতে হয়, date কিভাবে বলতে হয়, we're going to do it. And second day I'm also going to give you a YouTube video. I think আজকে আমি YouTube video add করিনি because it was not required today. Second day there is a YouTube video. Okay, এখানে তো YouTube video নেই. Okay, so that's it from my side. I am done. I have completed my class. যদি তোমাদের কোনো প্রশ্ন থাকে, you're most welcome to go ahead. Start if you have any questions, because question থাকা উচিত এই টপিকটাতে. Okay, yeah, do you have any questions? Ask me questions, it's important. So if you have questions, go ahead and ask me. No questions? So today আমি আলাদা করে কোনো হোমওয়ার্ক দিইনি, তোমাদের এইটুকুই হোমওয়ার্ক কি যেটা পড়ালাম 1 to 21 আজকে মুখস্থ করবে, 21 to 100 and above next 2-3-4 days এ গ্যাপ দিয়ে দিয়ে মুখস্থ করবে. That's it, nothing else is there. Okay, anything else from previous class you want to ask me? আগের ক্লাস থেকে কিছু জিজ্ঞেস করার আছে, you can ask me. Yeah, you want to ask me anything from the previous class? Yeah.
Madam, can you see Priya Pal has written some question in the question
Just
box?
a second, yeah. Okay, can we get revisions? Okay, okay, Priyanshu, right? Can we get revisions? আচ্ছা, তুমি কিসের রিভিশন বলছো প্রিয়াংশু? Okay, revision of what? Yes, so what I'm planning to do is I will take a test. Okay, a একটা আমি টেস্ট নেবো, তোমাদের এটা হয়ে যাক ঠিক করে। I will take a test, okay? Test in like একটা particular তোমার ধরো 30-40% হয়ে যাক, then I will give you a test. Okay, you will do the test. Test নেবো আমি। Revision of previous classes. Have you done the homework, Priyanshu? Have you done the homework? If you have done the homework, yes, I can revise previous classes. But for that, you have to do the homework. Okay? If you have done the homework, tell me, I'm going to revise. I would love to revise with you. Priyanshu, okay? Homework দেখাও, homework দেখালে I'm going to be happy to revise with you. But homework না করে কিন্তু বলতে পারবে না আমার revision টা। Homework করো, revision করবো আমি সবার সাথে revision করবো। কয়েকজনই আমি homework পাঠাই, সবাই পাঠায় না। So if you want revision, send me the homework. And after the class, you're supposed to revise it by yourself. Okay, I'm not supposed to like do everything right now. Yes, revision lesson to hobby. তোমাদের একটা ছোট আমি টেস্ট নেব, সেটা এখনই নেব না, জাস্ট গিভ মি আ সেকেন্ড না, মানে ডেট ঠিক করছি তোমাদের টেস্ট কবে নেব আমি। পুরোটা হয়ে যাক, তোমাদের এক্সাম হবে অ্যারাউন্ড জুন জুলাইয়ের সময়, তার আগে আমি একটা টেস্ট নেব সবকিছু টপিক প্র্যাকটিস রিভিশনের জন্য। আর ডেটটা লিখে নাও তোমরা। হবে হবে, it is March, right? April, May, June, July, around June. Okay, around the 15th of June I will take a revision. Around the 15th of June লিখে নাও এখন, রিভিশন হবে, we will have a revision at that time. আর তোমাদেরকে পড়ে আসতে হবে, আমি আলাদা আলাদা করে সব রিভিশন এখন করব না। The revision will mostly be like, you know, like তোমরা পড়ে আসবে, অনলাইন রিভিশন হবে, অনলাইনে আমি কোয়েশ্চেন্স দেব, এক্সামের প্যাটার্নে দেওয়ার চেষ্টা করবো, সো দ্যাট তোমাদের মানে অসুবিধা না হয় অন হাউ টু ডু ইট, অ্যান্ড তোমাদের আমি চেক করবো খাতা। Okay, anything else, any other questions? So Priya, okay, you have asked some questions. Which part? So if it's some specific part, you can ask me right now, because amar dik theke to I am done. I have already like done it. If you have any questions from your side, you can ask me. Okay. If you have any specific question from your side, you can please go ahead and ask me. Okay. Any specific question, you can please come to the panel and ask me. I'll be glad if you have any questions. Any questions?